I'm Eugene.
I'm Michael.
I'm Josh.
And we're with the band, the legendary JCs. Here at the Spring of the Blues Festival. Good to enjoy this music. And we're about to give everybody some advice on what not to do. It's good. It's been a good. You guys had a good time playing JCs, right?
Most definitely.
Most definitely.
Well,
It's a fun, good time.
What?
It's a
Fun.
good time.
Yes, he's being paid to say that, but that's okay. And what's a piece of advice I would give somebody who is starting out? I mean, really.
I would say, there's a point if you stick, you got to stick with it. There's a point where it seems like a lot of work and a lot of practice, then something will click for you, and you break through, and you just got to stick with it until that happens, and it will happen if you stick with it. Nothing's easy, obviously.
How long does that take?
Well, I've been playing 32 years. And I think 6 months ago everything clicked. And, it's just whatever you're into as a player.
Right.
You work at it, and then all of a sudden you realize, wow, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Right.
And then the whole world of music is out there, and it opens up. And it's not just you got to look at all. There's good music and there's bad music, and it comes in all styles, all.
But it's something because even though with your advice for me, it's like
Be open-minded.
when did you start practicing? When you remember when you were kids, you practiced a whole lot, and you have to get your chops together. But there's a time when when did you get back to practicing? Did you get back to do it again? Because you really have to keep working on yourself. Right now I constantly have to make sure I get myself together, even though as kids we practice like crazy.
Absolutely.
But now always, every moment we lived it. And so, what do we do to keep the interest?
Andre Segovia, the probably one true guitar master, was still taking lessons and studying when he died.
Wow.
So
and he was teaching masters. It's
there's always something. There's so much music and so much out there, and there's always new things to discover, and you can never stop learning. I mean, if you think you know everything, stop. Give up the instrument because
Right.
that's the wrong attitude to have.
It's good to find a good musical mentor. I was lucky to have a few people growing up, that I know, a couple teachers that I had, Eugene too, he's a mentor. And
What not to do,
I mean, it's wonderful if you ever, just have access to, people
That's a
that
great
are
idea, mentor.
just
That's a great
wonderful,
idea.
wonderful musicians that can
Right.
point you in the right direction. And also, I would say if you're into particular styles of music, when you're learning it, learn the root of it. Go back as far as you can, and learn where it came from. Just to develop a deeper understanding of stuff. And,
Right.
try not to do that a lot.
Right.
That's something I see lacking. And a lot of younger, I don't know if it's I'm being like the old guys saying, young kids today, but you definitely what Josh just said is one of the biggest things. I mean, you let's say you're into a current player. Well, what did they listen to? Where did
Right.
they get their influence? Then where did that person get their influence? And you can go back, learn the roots of things, and then you have a foundation as a musician, as a player.
Something that's obvious that sounds a lot. Don't do it. Get into what's in the moment. They really don't do that. And the only other thing too is that learn a little bit about the business. Learn it. Learn about publishing. Learn about songwriting. Learn a little bit about what a booking agent does. Learn what a management does. Learn the functions, the simple functions of what it is to be like with a record label. Not because these days it's so much easier. You don't need to have the big record labels anymore. A lot of musicians that we have are self-contained musicians that do a lot now, and they don't have the address to a record deal.
Right.
Stop doing what they know how to operate the business. We need people who play at festivals around, and these people are making decent living. They don't have a hit record. They don't have anything, but they're playing on a touring, and because right now booking agents want you to be doing something now. Before you used to come see you, they don't develop much anymore. Unless you're in an apartment, unless you're in an
They
apartment.
expect you to already be
Expect you
selling
already
just to
there.
even pay you attention.
Yeah, they want you to
Right.
be out playing already. If you think, why I used to tell a lot of musicians, young kids, you can be in your garage for a year, but you gotta get out. Go out and play a little bit. You gotta get out because you can sit in the garage for a year preparing for one thing. The business has changed. One cats have been in for
One
years.
live show is equal to could be equal to months of practice.
If you got 6 songs, get those 6 songs and play those right. And get a slot. Play for a half hour, but get out and play. Don't wait till you have 2 hours worth of music. If you got 12 songs and you have 6 of those songs are good, well, I'm not going to get the 12 songs. Don't play an hour. Go out and play 25 minutes. Those 6 songs and play the heck out of those 6 songs. And get out there and play. You have to. You can get your garage so long. We got guys who are stuck in the garage playing or practicing for a year because they don't think they're ready.
Right.
Get
It'd
out.
be the
Right.
best thing on earth. And
Get a gig.
No one knows
Get
who you are.
a gig.
Right.
Get a gig and play. You know what I mean? And that's a good piece of advice. When somebody told me that, can we rewind this and get it back to like 1986 so I can hear myself say,
Wouldn't that be nice?
You know what I'm
We
saying?
all like to do that, right? Who are your greatest musical influences?
I have a lot of them. I like all kind of music. I love everything from James Brown, the Isley Brothers, Sly and the Family Stone, Buddy Guy, Otis Rush, B.B. King. Just soul music, roots music, blues music.
What's some rock cat you dig? some rock. If there's some rock.
I'm not a huge rock and roll.
But if there's
guy.
one, people like a band, like a group that music we weren't into, but you notice, because as musicians we do that. We see band musicians. We may not be really enamored by the music, but we say, wow, that person's a great player, or something in the song. Is there somebody like that you seen?
Well, you know,
Get to the reach. Sometimes you got to reach outside of your.
yeah, there's all. I mean, as far as right now, I'm really not into anything current. But as far as like the rock bands, you know, any of the great big rock bands like
Oh.
Zeppelin and everything. I mean, they had, you know, they kind of borrowed from everything and came up with a formula,
Yes, they did.
you know, that worked for them. And I mean, it just,
Such a great.
you know,
Good soul man, though.
Yep.
Soul man.
yeah.
Who you
What about you guys?
I mean, it's very similar to Josh. I mean, it's all over the place. I could say John Coltrane, you know, Curtis Mayfield for the the chord stuff that he did. Al Green for the vocals. You know, definitely Sly Stone and Freddie
Yeah, you can
Freddie
see why they're in
King.
the band.
Cousin Larry. Cousin Larry,
Guitar
yeah.
Slim. You know, T-Bone Walker. I mean, King Curtis on the horn. I mean,
Wow.
it's all over the place. I mean,
Yeah.
James Burton on guitar.
Wow.
Buck Owens, you know, the harmonies that
Buck
he and
Owens.
Don
Buck
Rich
Owens
sang.
and
I
Don
mean,
Rich had the best.
Oh my
they were
God.
better than Beatles harmonies,
that
man.
live and
Oh.
Carnegie Hall album is one of the best
It's
albums.
bad.
Buck Owens line.
That's what goes back to my point. There's just so much music out there, and don't limit yourself to, well, I'm into this or I'm into that, because
Right.
I mean,
It all leads to
it's-
one other. I told a metal guy one time, and I said there were people listening to metal, and it was like, do you realize that those hollering and everything he's doing goes back to blues? It's not outside the trace it all the way back to him. If this didn't happen, this couldn't happen.
I saw an interview
He
with
said he didn't-
Alice
if this-
Cooper one
yeah,
time talking
it just-
about that very same thing.
Really?
He said
Yeah.
metal would not have happened if it wasn't for the blues.
you
If it wasn't
can
for this. It wasn't
you
for
can
this.
trace almost all modern musics from jazz to country. I mean, a lot of
Everything.
it goes
Punk,
back
even
to
punk.
blues and bluegrass and the real roots music. That all branched out and became rock and roll and became everything else.
Neat.
Really, you can trace it all back.
Right.
Well, my great.
I mean, you can hear, listen to Hank Williams' music and tell how heavily he was influenced by blues. I mean, all his songs were blues format songs, and how influenced he was by like the Cajun music. You know, I mean, it
Soul
was
to
really,
Big time.
you know, exactly.
Yeah. What about you, Eugene?
My dad was a drummer. He taught me. I have 5 brothers who all became musicians and drummers, and then they all stopped playing music because they got real jobs. Don't take that. Musician's a real job. How dare you say something like that?
It is.
But it was for us. We were fortunate to be able to work in music. But
Yeah.
he's my father's a jazz drummer. We're almost expatriates. We almost moved in Amsterdam. He played with Jim McGriff and all those guys in Europe. So when I was like 10 years old, 11 years old, we were almost living in Europe because at the time all black jazz musicians got work over there.
Right.
And so then he stopped. When he had 5 boys, he stopped working. I stopped in music. He became a trucker. But he kept him and my mom kept music in the house all the time. I told you, I tell stories when I play about this is a song I was listening to. My dad would come home and whatever song's on the radio at the time, he'd dance with my mom.
Cool.
He kept music there, kept music up, kept drums there, kept everything going on. So I had music constantly in the house. All my brothers were musicians. And so my father, through him, and through my uncles and everybody, I had a wide spectrum of music. Everywhere from you name it. I mean, my first album I bought for myself was Styx, Grand Illusion, because we had all the other records. We had it. So I said, what album did I have? I want Grand Illusion by Styx. It was my first album I purchased. Because everything else, I had all the Al Green, I had all the blues, I had all the soul, I had all the gospel, even had the old rock. So, but I purchased that one. It was one of my still one of my favorite albums to this day. Even though I played it for my first girlfriend back in '78, and she was just sitting on the couch going like,
Are you gonna sing
"Oh,
any of
you
that
don't
later
understand." Just remember that it's a grand illusion. Deep inside, we're all the same.
Nice
deep.
voice.
So it was pretty good.
Would you guys like to sing for us today as we close?
Don't let them sing.
We're guitar players, right?
All right.
You sing. But we got a lot of hit songs that we sing. Hits that are hits somewhere, not hits anywhere yet, but they're hits somewhere. We know. I think in Nice.
Nice.
You guys are awesome.
Actually, thank you very much. We're legendary JCs and you're Josh, right?
Glad to be.
That's right.
You're Josh. I mean, he's the newest member. Yeah, he's been playing for how long?
I'm not nearly legendary yet. Just how long have I been playing?
Yeah, how long you been playing?
Oh man, I don't know.
A legend
20
in the
years.
making.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys.